Hello, 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 and welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Jameelah. Ooh, that's pretty. And I am a master manifester. I was trying to work with this evening sun. Oh, the sun is so amazing. I forgot what I was going to say. I'm a master manifester. I'm going to show you when you don't do it all together, you really just forget it. Anyway, you can watch the other videos to hear the beginning spiel. My apologies. I came here today and I was like, I got a lot to talk about. I want to talk about some things, right? And one of the things that popped up, because I may make more than one video this evening, is how there's always somewhere to get to, right? If you notice in your life, there's always a continuous trend of trying to accomplish something, trying to get somewhere, trying to meet a goal, trying to get to the next week, to the next vacation, to the birthday, or whatever it is. And I was sitting at my desk today, and let me tell you, for whatever reason in my mind, today was very long. Like I felt like I was out and about today for like 100 years. I just couldn't wait to get home to shower. I almost took a bath, but I was like, I'm gonna soak in some Epsom salt, and I changed my mind because I was like, I want to make videos. Because I get excited when I turn the camera on. So nonetheless, I was like, it was just a long day. And I was sitting there thinking like how I almost like jetted back like 10 years. And I was thinking about how I sat there and I had these little journals and books and things. And I used to go, okay, I got this thing done and that thing done. And it's like, oh, and then next I'm working on this and that. And a lot of the stuff came true. A lot of the stuff I've manifested, I've created in my life. I have a whiteboard and I do these things all the time. But today, it was a much more overwhelming feeling of, girl, it's just going to be something else. And I don't think that means that we're supposed to just stop going for things, or we're supposed to stop trying to create things in our lives, or we're supposed to stop trying to expand and grow and change and be. But I do think that it's very important to remember that nothing that's going on in your life, or no goal that you're creating, or no space you're trying to get to, none of that is ever going to be enough. And because that is the human condition. Even when we think we've gotten to a place where something is enough, we find ourselves being comfortable in it for a while, but it's almost like the human nature to start itching and like pulling and creating desires to move past it and to do something else or to build on top of that thing. And it doesn't matter what this is. I've just noticed in life that because life, the very essence of life is that things are always changing, that we're always growing, that we're always expanding, whether we are or not, everything around us is. Even if we look at the seasons, right now I'm looking at grass that's turning brown in front of my house, right? And in about 6 months, it's going to be plush green. And I think that is how we have to remember our life is. We kind of see it as this thing where we climb, and it's getting higher and higher. But life is more like a, ebb and flow. I always love to compare life and like what we are trying to create or what we want to have access to the ocean. And that's why I love sitting in front of the ocean. I love being anywhere near the ocean. A clean one, preferably, not a dirty ocean. Closest ocean to me is dirty. But a clean space, because it just reminds me that look how beautiful this thing is all together. But at the end of the day, it's ebbing and it's flowing. It's ebbing and it's flowing, right? And those goals are wonderful things. Those places we want to get to, that to-do list that we want to scratch everything off of. But we have to keep in mind that it's always going to be something else. As long as you are breathing, as long as you are living. Oh, I just love this sun. So nice. As long as you are breathing, as long as you are living, as long as you are participating in this life, it doesn't matter how happy and content and comfortable you are with one thing, with something, there will be something that happens in your life, or something that changes, or something that shifts, that pushes you to create a new desire or a new want or a new goal or a new need that you may put into your life. And so what that teaches me is that when I'm sitting there and my brain was getting overloaded, like I was sitting there looking at this particular little notebook right here, And I was also looking at, some of the goals I have for like YouTube and stuff, and goals I have for work related things. And when I have a lot of free time, my brain automatically goes to those places. And I all of a sudden felt really, really tired and really overwhelmed, right? And really like spacey. And I was exhausted. And I was like, you didn't even go anywhere. All you did was run a marathon in your brain. And now you feel physically tired. And I had to literally stop where I was and like turn everything off, because I had like music playing on my computer and I had my phone in my hand. I put that to the side and I stopped and did my breathing exercises, right? And I literally don't care who sees me in my office doing breathing exercises. It's like, knock and stop me or just keep on walking. Because, you can look in and see she must be doing something, right? And I'm started doing the breathing exercises because I immediately wanted to let go of that tension that I had created for something that always is going to be happening, right? I remember I was talking to a person I talk to sometimes. I'll say that because sometimes I'm like, I don't want to give any identifiers because I don't want anybody to feel like I'm saying something negative, but it's not that. Sometimes I just use situations to describe things. A person I was talking to, and they were going on about something happened and their car broke down, and then like some other thing around the house broke down, and they were so frustrated and aggravated. And I was just like, stop for a moment. I'm not trying to invalidate your feelings, but at one point in your life, at any point in your life, has these things never happened before? And they were like, no. And I was like, yeah, because in life, the same old things keep on happening, right? I'm frustrated because I got to sit there and make dental appointments and find a new orthodontist and all this, but this is the same old stuff. And all I need to do is just go through the motions and get it done, instead of letting it weigh down on me like it's some race I need to get to the end of, right? And I think that's the biggest mistake that we make, is trying to always put everything in this big linear fashion, so that when we don't make this mark or we don't meet this thing, we feel like somehow we're losing, or we didn't make the cut, or we're not doing the thing. And I have to watch that with myself too, especially you doing things like social media and using platforms. I literally and genuinely get online and speak and share information and wisdom because I love to do it. I love talking to people about things, because in my real life, I don't really talk like this, right? Like if people saw me, who see me in the work environments and stuff, they would be like, she talks that much? It's not that I'm quiet. It's just that I'm not much of an orator like in my everyday life. So it's something that I genuinely enjoy doing. And so I wouldn't be sitting here doing this every day. I couldn't even keep the momentum and the joy of doing it if it was something that I had to truly stretch myself hardcore to do, right? And so I always have to remember that every time I'm sitting there and this thing is sending me alerts saying, oh, new subscriber, and it's just going up. And then a part of me is like getting a little anxious, saying, it's like, okay, but what if it goes down? And I'm like, what did it matter? It doesn't matter if the people weren't there last week, so what do you care? You know what I mean? And it's still a part of that whole crossing off things off a checklist, trying to have a to-do list, always trying to look at everything as somewhere to get to. And I know it's so hard because in life generally, we're on a journey. And we know that there's a beginning when we're born, and then there's all the stuff that happens in between, and then when we leave this place, right? But our everyday and what we have going on is not necessarily on some timetable. We don't have to live our lives like we're always under the gun, and there's this, big checklist in the sky, and if we don't get these things done, then all of a sudden this day is just not a successful one. Because I'm also guilty of judging my days by whether they were successful or not with how much I felt like I accomplished in that day, how much I took off the to-do list. And today was a stark reminder of how quickly it can weigh on you and start to give you stress when you sit in that space for too long. And you best believe when I sat there and did those breathing exercises, it's like it just was removing layers of angst, layers of gotta do this, gotta do that, layers and layers of it. Because you already know I'm all about the rest. I'm all about the free time. I'm all about sitting back and relaxing, but that's not always been my way. So when there are those moments where I forget this and those times happen, I always have a go-to. And one of my go-tos is definitely those breathing exercises and getting centered and remembering that I don't have to do anything, right? I don't have to do anything. And there are some things that, of course, if you don't do, yeah, they're going to cause you issues later or whatever. But in that very moment, for those 5 minutes or for those 10 minutes that I can scrounge up to myself in the middle of my day, I don't have to do anything. I don't owe anybody anything. Nobody's looking for me. I can sit here and I can breathe and I can just enjoy being a human being. I can enjoy being alive. I can enjoy the breath flowing through my body. I can enjoy that all my limbs are working. I can enjoy that my eyes are working, my ears are working. I can enjoy that I get to connect with so many people in online spaces and share all this information that I gather in different areas of my life. Like, I can really literally sit there in gratitude and I can remove that energy, that tight angst energy of trying to always get somewhere, trying to always make something into something. One of the ways I used to practice this all the time with my daughters when I was younger was when I was younger. I guess I was younger too, but when they were younger, we would play games, but we didn't necessarily play them to win or lose them. And that was a very fun thing to do. And so sometimes it was like learning a new game. We go get this board game. You already know, if you get board games like from the thrift store and stuff, it's not going to have all the pieces. Sometimes it did, but sometimes it didn't. And it's so funny as they got older and noticed that, and you're like, okay, no more thrift store games, because they're starting to complain. They're like, there's always a missing piece, the little one said one day. But we would play these games, and it was about socializing. It was about interacting. It was about connecting with each other. It wasn't necessarily about how can we, who's going to win. We're going to get to the end of this game. And I'm not saying there's nothing to be said for goals and winning things and, expanding at a certain level. But there's times in our lives where we can put those things on hold and have a better experience, where we can stop thinking about what has to be done or what we're trying to accomplish and have a better experience. And what I find is that in my effort to live a lot slower than I always have, and I've been quite successful at that, what I find is that the slower you approach things, the more intentional that you approach things in your life, the more intentional you approach problems, the more intentional you approach connecting with other people, the more intentional you approach your career, raising your children, if you have them, I always got to say that, your relationships, your connections, the more intentional you are with those things and relaxed, the better results that you ultimately get. And it's so easily we forget these things and we start getting into that mode where we start trying to plan everything out and get it organized and make it linear. And while that works in some spaces of our lives, it will make you feel like you're under the gun all the time. It will make you feel like there's always something that you didn't get done. There's always something more to do. And I was sitting there at the desk thinking, like, should I be posting something like, pictures or something like that and like sharing positive words every day? Should I come up with a system? I mean, I'm telling you, I went through the whole gambit of all kinds of things. I was like, should I make a segment like this? Should I announce that I have courses on there? Because YouTube lets you create these free little courses that allows you to group your videos together, which there's the ad for it right there. Some people found it already, but it's literally under the courses tab. I went ahead and grouped some videos together so that way if you have a theme like time wasting, I have videos on that. Generational curse breaking, videos on that. Knowing when you've had a breakthrough, there are a bunch of videos on that. And these come from like the past 6 all the way up to 7 years of me making videos. And I pretty much have the same sentiments. So not a whole lot has changed, right? I've expanded in many ways, but much of what I'm saying is like these universal truths and they still ring true today. And so I'm sitting there and I'm going through all this and I can feel my body tightening up with overthinking and over processing and overreaching with what I am in the process of co-creating. It's like, it's one thing to be excited about it, but then it's another thing to get in your own way, to get in front of the thing that's working out for you. Sometimes we have absolutely nothing to do with something working out or something improving or something growing or something getting better. Then all of a sudden when we see it growing and improving and getting better, we think we have to stick our hands in there and try to keep on making it go. And I'm like, you didn't do the first thing, right? And I'm literally looking at a video I put out, the one I did about resting, was one of the first videos that I ever did that made it to those level of numbers. And I literally did not expect that in any kind of way. I literally don't even know why I got on camera with my nighttime head wrap and scarf on to share a message. It's like something I almost would never do. I'm not bothered by it because, well, I love me no matter what. I'm good with me, right? With makeup, without it, with the head wraps, without it, all that stuff. But I was just thinking to myself how I would have never planned to do that at all. And for whatever reason, what I was saying really resonated with a lot of people. And because I've been working hard my whole life. And one thing we're never told is that we should rest. People call it lazy when it's really just rest. You need to sit down, right? And I enjoyed it. Well, what I'm saying is that then you get into the mode is like, oh, wait. Now I got to do this. Now I got to do that. Now I got to create this. And it's like, dude, you didn't even create that. All you did is showed up in the way that you normally just show up and be who you normally are. And I think when we get into the mindset of just remembering it's okay to rest in who we are, it's okay to rest in our truest nature and have patience in believe in the divine timing, and everything is going to keep on flowing from there. And the minute you see some success in some place or not, like people get a relationship, that's a big one. They get in a relationship and everything is going well, and then they get that anxious excitement about it, and they start doing too much. They start texting too much. They start calling too much. They start buying too many gifts. I mean, I don't know if you can buy too many gifts for some people, but I guess it can be obsessive, you know? They stop hanging out with friends. It's like they start doing too much. And it's like, first of all, you didn't even bring the person into your life. The person, you found each other. And so now you got into this energy of, well, now I got to keep it. Well, now I got to hold on to it. And then you get all caught up in these linear goals. And it's like, this is what I want. This is what and if you stop for a moment and breathe, you can literally feel your body going through a very unhelpful, I'll say unbeneficial process. You can literally feel your body tightening up and starting to contract because you are making those desires and those goals small because you're really caught up into the how they're going to get done, as opposed to staying open and free and saying, this is nice, bring me more of it, I want to experience more of it, this is nice, and I'm going to sit back like I did before because I didn't make that thing happen, so I ain't going to make this thing happen. I just showed up as I am, you know, and that's all we can do for the most part, right? Show up, don't give up, keep connecting with our truest version of who we are, and get out of the mode of always putting everything in a linear fashion and seeing everything as some big goal to tackle. Everything is some job that needs to get done. Everything is something that belongs on a to-do list, right? Anyway, I lost my beautiful son, but nonetheless, the sky is pretty orange right now. It's very nice. I hope you all are having a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful day.